Welcome to Room with Destination Homes, where you'll discover details about new home construction from different perspectives. If you're curious or have questions about home building, you'll find answers as we go room to room.
Hi, I'm Ryan with Destination Homes, and here we are with another episode of Room to Room. Today, I'm pleased to introduce you to Shane Jensen, who has established our online sales counselor role here at Destination Homes. And today we're going to talk about what that position is, what it's like day to day to fulfill that position, and some of the rewarding aspects of it. So Shane, why don't you first of all just kind of tell us who you are, how you got to know the company, and what does online sales counselor even mean?
Yeah, so I'm Shane Jensen. I kind of pioneered the OSC program 5-6 years ago is when we started. I got familiar with the company. I just knew people that worked in the company. I kind of grew up around some of the owners, founders of the company, and had good relationships with those guys. So coming out of school, I made calls to the people that I looked up to and knew, and happened to be some of those guys, and they were nice enough to take me on, let me help, and went in this direction.
Well, and we should say, just for personal, interview or interest, Shane is the kind of crazy who likes to not only long distance run, but we're not talking marathons. We're talking like marathon plus marathon plus marathon. You've competed in 100-mile races before?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just pause really quick. We're going to get to the online sales counselor stuff, but what would like get into your mind to think that was okay to do?
I still don't know if that's okay to do myself. That is a good question. I ask myself that all the time, like, especially when I'm in the middle of it, like, what am I doing? Get here?
Yeah.
How did I get myself right here? But I don't know. I used to run a lot of road races, marathons, and I just got really tired of running on the road. That's super boring to me, and I don't like dodging cars and things. So I started
like dodging moose and bears and mountain lions.
Yeah, so that's better, I think. But I started running on trails more, but still wanted to have this goal or something to shoot for, something to train for. Kind of give a purpose to why I'm doing it. I somehow wound up, running these 100-mile races, and weirdly kind of got hooked, but it's been awesome.
Well, you're definitely a trailblazer in that regard, but going back to, this is an awesome segue, trailblazing the online sales counselor role here for Destination Homes, and hopefully those either watching or listening will be able to learn a little bit more about what this position has to offer them as far as their buying experience.
Great,
You ready?
Let's do it, let's do it.
Okay, awesome. Shane, we're here in the beautiful kitchen of this model now, and it's just a nice place to sit and have a conversation here at the bar, kind of dive into online sales counselor. Just describe the title. That can be interpreted a couple different ways. You're not marriage counseling or relationship counseling, I would imagine, but for a home builder, what does that mean?
For a home builder, online sales counselor, in the industry, we've actually heard it said a lot of different ways. Online sales concierge, online sales specialist, inside sales specialist. But essentially, the online sales counselor is going to be that first point of contact for people who are home shopping online or seeing advertisements somewhere, or on our website, or they may see signage somewhere on the road, on a billboard, or outside of a house. And those numbers will typically be funneled to what they call an online sales specialist, who, like I said, is essentially your first point of contact for a home builder.
Okay, and are they going through the website? Are they having to search for you? Do they kind of have an idea of what's on the site first? Or do you find that people are just like, oh, I've made it, I'm here, and I'm lost, I need help? Or tell me about the person that's connecting with you, because they're making a phone call, most of the time, right?
Yeah, you do get a lot of phone calls, and it really just kind of depends on the person where they're at, as far as where they're at, not only in just their home shopping experience, but how familiar they are already at any given point with us as Destination Homes, with our communities or our floor plans. We'll get calls from people who say, I want to build this floor plan in this community on this lot. And so they've looked through our website. They know that. I also get calls from home shoppers saying, hey, I'm looking for a house of this size, this price, in this area of the state.
Okay.
What do you have? How can you help me? And happy to walk both of those people to get them the information that they need and get them in the right spot.
Walk them through the process, which just kind of baffles me. You've got all these people working for a building company in different roles, and it kind of seems like the person that is online sales counselor, they kind of have to know a little bit of everything. Is that fair?
Totally fair. I consider myself an honorary member of pretty much every department of the company, because at some point I've answered questions or had conversations about every aspect of the company.
Yeah. Well, and an online sales counselor too, there are options for builders to use maybe some text bots and things like that. We don't use that. They go right to you. So talk about your day-to-day. Like, are you just constantly on the phone, sending text back and forth? Like, what's a day in the life of someone that is working in this position?
Good question. All the above. It's funny that you mentioned that, people feel that they're connecting with a real person or finding confidence in that. But it's true, it's surprising how many people I talk to when I answer the phone and say, hey, thanks for calling Destination Homes, this is Shane, or I'm responding to a text or an email, say, hey, this is Shane, I'm following up on your request about this or something. And it's surprising how many times I get like,
wait, a real person?
There is a Shane? Like, Shane's a real person?
Like they're a little starstruck almost.
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't know, they're probably, used to chat bots or seeing those pop-ups on other websites. But on our website, you do see my face there way more than I ever wish it would be there. But it's surprising that we do get that response like, oh, you are Shane. Oh, okay. And I think that helps make it more personable. But a day in the life of an online sales counselor is all those things you described. I'm on the phone. I hope to be on the phone. I hope people are calling me and willing to take that step to ask questions about homes and communities. I'm doing a lot of texting. Texting's pretty popular now. We have lots of options on our website for different ways to people to contact us. So they can call me. There's a couple different texting options that they can use to get in touch with me. They can fill out a registration or a contact us form where they can give us their email address or give me a phone number, and I'm happy to reach out to them if they have questions or if they'd rather just me send them an email about something rather than pick up the phone and call them. I'm happy to do that.
So you're getting to know people through the phone, text, and email primarily. You're never meeting with these people, right? Your role is really to direct them to the right place, right community, hand that person off to a sales agent that's going to specialize in a particular product or community, correct?
Right.
Okay.
So in the last 5, 6, 7 years, we've seen this huge evolution in how people shop for homes. And now everyone at least starts or at some point is utilizing the internet for their home search. Most of the time you get on, if you want a certain type of house in a certain community, you'll Google houses for sale in this community and just see what pops up, and that's how you kind of start your journey, or you get on a Zillow or another third-party syndicate listing website, New Home Source, Realtor.com, whatever it may be. And those are so prevalent now that that's how they're looking for homes. And there's so much information out there for if you're just if that's what you're doing, if you're just diving into the internet and searching for a house. So my job is to be there for us, for Destination Homes, to help guide people through at least the first stages of that process.
Well, it seems so overwhelming. You just described all these different websites. If you were just to Google something, you'd be served up so much. It's like, how do I know I'm getting the best deal or what I'm looking for? Given the circumstance that you're talking to lots of different people, can you tell us maybe some memorable interactions that you've had, someone you've been able to help through the process? Maybe someone that you've been able to help that accidentally called. I don't know. You've been doing this for a while, so.
Way too many experiences to have time to go through in one sitting or one day.
Yeah, just the highlights.
Some highlights, well, I mean, really when someone calls in or reaches out to me, connects with us in their home shopping journey at whatever point that is, I really enjoy and try to just learn kind of their story. What are they looking for? What kind of home do they want to be in? What community do they want to be in? But I'd like to know, where they're from, why they're looking at Destination Homes specifically, what brought them here. And I find that the more I can understand their story, the more I can help get them to the right place that's going to work for them and their family or whatever their situation is.
Right. Align that story or that need with something that we're doing. And if it doesn't align, help them where you think that they might be able to align that, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's kind of my goal every day, is to make that alignment, align their story with something that we have that's going to improve their life or work for that next step that they're looking for.
Yeah, I recognize in myself, you get to that point, you cross that threshold of, I just want to talk to someone,
Yeah.
And I hope that as we, have implemented this process within, our organization, that it's really paid off, so.
Yeah, it's just a more personal way to hear their story, hear where they're coming from, and a more personal way for us to deliver our story and express what we can do for them and what we have to offer. And ultimately, we're just trying to see if it's a good fit on both sides.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're looking to do.
That's awesome. Shane, I wanted to touch on one more topic as we wrap up this conversation. And so we've gone into the study. It's one that requires a lot of thought.
It does. Feels good.
What I want to talk about is how an online sales counselor, what challenges that they're trying to solve, not just for buyers, but there's some unique challenges for buyers now that we've never really experienced. And what that also means for an organization. How is this position helping solve challenges within an organization? Can you speak to what challenges come to your mind first of all, and kind of what you're doing to kind of be a team player there?
Yeah. That is a super timely question.
Yeah. How much time do we have?
Because of so many things that are happening right now, and like you mentioned, it's been super challenging for home shoppers out there.
Yeah.
It's also been
frustrating.
It's been frustrating. It's been super challenging for home builders too. First we're all on all sides trying to navigate this pandemic. So from the home buyer side, it's been super challenging because there's just nothing available right now. The most common question I get right now is, do you have anything available anywhere? Mm-hmm. And if so, then tell me more about what it is, exactly where it's at, and those kind of details. But the first question, which is kind of bizarre, a few years ago, wouldn't have never thought that.
Yeah, what was the question a few years ago when we weren't necessarily going through what we're doing right now?
Yeah, the most common questions then were, what's the price? How fast can it be done?
Yeah. Do you build in the city or whatever, that kind of thing?
Do you build in this city? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those sort of things.
Okay.
The challenges we're seeing from the home builder side is, obviously, I think everyone's heard this by now, is the supply chain issue that has kind of followed this pandemic, which frankly just makes it really hard to build a house. It makes it really hard to get materials on site. It makes it really hard to get people on site to use the materials that we finally get to construct the home.
Right, well, that's a construction kind of logistical issue, but it all kind of compounds and it becomes one of your issues, and you've got to stay up to date.
It does.
How do you stay on the same page with, a construction department all of a sudden?
It is a good question. That is the challenge of this position essentially right now, is staying up to date from all departments. I need to know what we have available, where we have it available. I need to know what our timelines are like, because those, can kind of be readjusted at any point.
Changing every week,
they're
right?
changing. Things are always changing right now in this climate that we're currently in. But staying up to date, and that just from my end means a lot of touch points within the company. I need to be in contact with our on-site sales team, make sure we're updated on the lots we have available, make sure we're updated on our current pricing to reflect our building situation.
Yeah, which once upon a time, it was, I mean, I update a lot of the marketing and manage, marketing aspects,
Right.
but it was like, oh, here's the price. And it was like that price stood for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, right? Like it was not a thing. And what you're describing is, oh yeah, like I'm touching base constantly with agents saying, oh, there was an adjustment here with this material. Therefore, the price of the home has to change or whatever, right? Because of lumber or because of, some of these other things. It's just been nuts.
Right, and that's exactly right, is we have to be updated from so many different channels to be able to provide the most accurate information that we can. We want to know, we need to be updated on availability and price from our sales team. We need to be updated on construction timeline from our construction team. We need to stay on top and be updated of any future cost adjustments that we are going to receive from our suppliers and things from our purchasing and estimating team.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different directions and different places that we need to keep an eye on and keep up to date. And we need that information to tell the most accurate story we can to our home shoppers.
Yeah, let's talk about this and we'll kind of wrap up. The emotion for a buyer is, I can't think of a more emotional purchase, right? Because this is their world. They are building a house. How does an online sales counselor really serve the prospective buyer or just the person asking questions and kind of their emotional state by being prepared with the information that you have?
Yeah, I think it's super important, and I absolutely understand where these home shoppers are coming from, where our customers are coming from. I know that the climate that we're kind of in as far as home sales and what it takes to buy a new home right now, and I understand that, and so first off, it's important for us to be sensitive to that and their situation, because this is an emotional purchase in an emotional time. This is just an emotional time that we're living in, especially in this industry and this journey. And so first off, being aware of that and being sensitive to that is important, because I want to help anyone I can who's calling in. I want to be able to find a solution for them.
Yeah, whether it's our solution or whether it's someone else's.
Whether it's our solution or whether I recommend they go a different direction, which I will do. If it's not a good fit, if it's not going to be what we think is best for their situation, their family, whatever it might be, then we're okay to say, hey, I recommend you look into doing this or
going their product or their builder or something
this
like
direction.
That, right?
But it just helps for us to be super up to date with all the information that I have, and for me to be able to convey that clearly to a home shopper helps all sides and helps the home builder. We're trying to set realistic expectations in this market, which can be super hard with the challenges that we're seeing. But setting realistic expectations and making sure we're all on the same page is what I think the biggest benefit I can offer to our online home shopper. People are connecting with me, making sure that they're knowledgeable and prepared for when they're ready to come out on site and see a model home. They already have the most pertinent information about what we have available, when we can have something built, and those things.
Well, it's been awesome to see you grow in this, or grow the position over the last several years and working alongside you. You've really, like I said before, you've been a trailblazer, not only in the role, but within the organization. You're doing a lot of things, juggling a lot of different things. And if you're doing online sales counselor for much more time, or even if it's transitioning to do something else, and we have someone else come on, you've really paved the way. And you've really been a trailblazer within the industry, not just within our company, but the work that you've done has been tremendous, and it's going to help us in our sales department and anyone else that fills this role as an online sales counselor for the work that you've done. So
thank you.
Thank you very much. And that'll do it for us today on Room to Room with Destination Homes, and we'll catch you on the next one.